I, 32F, have been married to my husband Bob, 34M, for 5 years now, and until recently, I thought we had a great relationship with his parents. My father-in-law David, 60M, has always been incredibly supportive of us. He helped us with the down payment on our house, babysits our 3-year-old daughter Emma whenever we need help, and has generally been the perfect grandfather and father-in-law. My mother-in-law Samantha, 58F, was also great initially, though she could be a bit controlling at times. Some background is needed here. Samantha was previously married to a man named James, 59M, in her early 20s. They were college sweethearts and got married right after graduation. The marriage only lasted 2 years because they wanted different things. Samantha wanted kids immediately, while James wanted to focus on his career first. They divorced, and Samantha met David shortly after. They've been married for 35 years and have 2 children, my husband Bob and his sister Lisa, 31F. I never knew much about James until recently. Samantha rarely talked about her first marriage, and when she did, she always made it sound like it was a mistake of her youth. David never seemed bothered by Samantha's past, and James was never mentioned at family gatherings. Bob and Lisa knew about him but had never met him, as far as I knew. Everything started last month when I was at the Pine Valley Mall. I had gone there to return some clothes and was heading to the food court when I spotted Samantha at the Starbucks. She was sitting with a man I didn't recognize, and something about their interaction caught my attention. They weren't just having a casual conversation. Samantha was laughing at everything he said, touching his arm frequently, and had that flirtatious body language that was impossible to miss. I know I should have probably just walked away, but something felt off. Samantha was supposed to be at her book club that afternoon. She had mentioned it during our Sunday family dinner just 2 days before. I decided to sit at a nearby table and observe them for a while. The man looked to be around Samantha's age, well dressed in a business suit, and they seemed very comfortable with each other. What really set off alarm bells was when he reached across the table and wiped something off her face. It was such an intimate gesture. They spent nearly 2 hours at the cafe, and their behavior became increasingly flirtatious. When they finally got up to leave, I saw them walk to the parking lot together. Before getting into their separate cars, they hugged goodbye, but it wasn't a friendly hug. He kissed her on the cheek, lingering there for a moment, and they held hands while saying goodbye. I took several pictures throughout their meeting because I knew this wasn't normal behavior for a married woman, and I had a feeling no one would believe me without proof. The pictures clearly showed their intimate interactions, the hand touching, the close proximity of their faces while talking, and the goodbye scene in the parking lot. When I got home that evening, I showed the pictures to Bob. He was quiet for a long time before telling me that the man in the pictures was James, his mom's first husband. Bob was shocked because, according to him, his mom had always said she hadn't had any contact with James since their divorce. Over the next few weeks, I started paying more attention to Samantha's schedule. She suddenly had a lot of book club meetings, shopping trips with old friends, and volunteer work at times that seemed odd. I kept track of her excuses and realized she was meeting with James at least twice a week. Sometimes at the mall, sometimes at different restaurants, and once at a park near our house. Bob and I debated about what to do with this information. He was torn between loyalty to his mom and his sense of right and wrong. We both knew David deserved to know the truth, but we also knew this revelation would destroy the family. Bob suggested we confront Samantha first and give her a chance to explain, but I disagreed. If she was willing to lie to her husband of 35 years, she would definitely lie to us. After 3 weeks of watching this continue, I made the decision to tell David. I invited him over when I knew Samantha was at another one of her meetings with James. I showed him the pictures and explained everything I had observed. I also showed him the dates and times I had documented of Samantha's meetings with James. David's reaction was heartbreaking. He just sat there, staring at the pictures, his hands shaking. He kept saying "I don't understand" over and over. This man had given Samantha everything she ever wanted: a beautiful home, wonderful children, financial security, and unwavering love and support. And this was how she repaid him. That evening, David confronted Samantha. She initially tried to deny everything, but when David showed her the pictures, she changed her story. She admitted to meeting James but claimed they were just friends catching up. She said they had run into each other at a grocery store 6 months ago and had been meeting occasionally to talk about old times. But if they were just friends, why did she lie about where she was going? Why did she hide these meetings from everyone? And why did she act so intimately with him in public? The pictures clearly showed behavior that went beyond friendship. Samantha was furious with me for exposing her. She called me horrible names, said I was a jealous, spiteful person who was trying to destroy her family. She claimed I had misinterpreted everything and was making something innocent look bad. Lisa immediately took her mom's side, saying I had no right to spy on Samantha or interfere in her personal life. Now the whole family is divided. David has moved out of their house and is staying with his brother. Samantha is playing the victim, telling everyone that I'm trying to destroy her marriage out of spite. Lisa won't speak to me or Bob, and Samantha's siblings have been sending us angry messages about how we've ruined their family. Bob supports my decision to tell David, but I can see how much this is hurting him. Ida for exposing Samantha's secret meetings? Should I have just minded my own business? Edit. Some people are asking why I think Samantha and James were having an affair when they were just meeting and hugging. There's more to it than just that. In the pictures I took, you can clearly see them holding hands under the table, and James was kissing her neck at one point. Also, Samantha had been lying to David about where she was going when she met James. If it was just innocent friendship, why lie? Update 1. It's been 3 weeks since my last post, and everything has gotten much worse than I could have imagined. I'm still processing everything that's happened, and it feels like our family is falling apart more each day. After the initial confrontation, Samantha moved in with Lisa, claiming she needed space to figure things out. David stayed at their house, and Bob and I tried our best to support him. David was struggling badly, he wasn't eating properly, wasn't sleeping well, and spent most of his time just sitting in their bedroom looking at old photo albums. It was heartbreaking to see this proud, strong man reduced to such a state. Samantha kept trying to control the narrative. She told everyone that I had misinterpreted innocent meetings between old friends and turned them into something scandalous. She even went to our church and told people there that I was trying to destroy her marriage because I was jealous of her close relationship with Bob. Some people actually believed her, and we started getting cold shoulders from people we'd known for years. Bob was trying to stay neutral at first, supporting his dad while still hoping his mom would come to her senses. He visited Samantha at Lisa's house a few times, trying to understand her side of the story. But each time he came back more frustrated because Samantha would just cry and play victim instead of explaining her actions. Then last week, everything exploded. It happened because of a simple mistake. Lisa accidentally sent a message to our family group chat instead of sending it privately to Samantha. The message read, "Mom, I found a perfect apartment for you and James. It's in the River Heights area, close to his office. His divorce will be final next month, so the timing works perfectly. You can start moving your things gradually before David notices anything missing." The message also had pictures of a luxury apartment attached. Before Lisa could delete it, everyone in the family had seen it. Bob immediately called Lisa, but she denied him access to Samantha. That's when all the truth started coming out. Samantha finally admitted to everything. Apparently, she ran into James at a college reunion 6 months ago. According to her, seeing him brought back all her old feelings. They started meeting secretly, and soon realized they were still in love. James confessed that he had regretted letting her go all those years ago, and now that his kids were grown up, he was ready to be with her. The most shocking part was that Samantha had been planning to leave David for months. She and James had it all mapped out. He would divorce his current wife, who had no idea about any of this. They would both sell their houses, and then buy a place together. Samantha had already started moving some of her jewelry and important documents to Lisa's house. When Bob asked Lisa how long she had known about this, she broke down and admitted she'd been helping her mom plan this since the beginning. She had been covering for Samantha's meetings with James, helping her look for apartments, and even helping her set up a secret bank account to transfer money into. Bob was devastated by Lisa's betrayal. They had always been close despite their different personalities. He couldn't understand how his sister could help destroy their family like this. When he asked her why, Lisa said she just wanted their mom to be happy, and she believed Samantha and James were meant to be together. David's reaction to all this was heartbreaking. We were with him when he read Lisa's message, and he just crumbled. He kept asking what he had done wrong, why wasn't he enough, whether Samantha had ever really loved him or if he had just been a replacement for James all these years. He started going through old photos and videos, questioning every happy moment they had shared. The next day, Samantha officially filed for divorce. She didn't even have the decency to tell David personally. He found out when the papers were served to him at work. She's now openly dating James, posting pictures of them together on social media, acting like she's finally found her happiness. Lisa has completely cut off contact with Bob and me. She sent us a long message saying we had no right to interfere in her mom's life and that true love shouldn't be denied just because of societal expectations. She accused us of being judgmental and said if we really loved Samantha, we would want her to be happy. Samantha's side of the family is making our lives miserable. They're spreading rumors about me, saying I fabricated the whole thing because I was jealous of Samantha's wealth and social status. Some of them have even started calling our mutual friends, telling them not to trust me because I'm a homewrecker. Bob is trying to stay strong, but I can see how much this is hurting him. He lost his mom, sister, and half his extended family in one go. He keeps saying he supports my decision to expose the truth, but sometimes I catch him looking at old family photos with tears in his eyes. The only small positive in all this is that David's family has been incredibly supportive. His brother helped him find a good divorce lawyer, and his sister has been coming over every day to make sure he eats properly. They've all made it clear that they still consider Bob and me part of their family, regardless of what happens with Samantha. I still don't regret telling David the truth, but seeing all this pain and destruction makes me understand why people sometimes choose to keep secrets. The weight of knowing you caused this much hurt, even if it was the right thing to do, is heavy to bear. Update 2: 2 months have passed since my initial post, and what we've discovered has shocked us even more than the original affair. Last week, Mary, 62F, Samantha's former college roommate and longtime family friend, reached out to Bob with information that has completely changed everything we thought we knew about Samantha and James's relationship. Mary had been carrying this burden for years but finally decided to come forward after seeing how everything was unfolding. According to her, Samantha and James's relationship never really ended after their divorce. They had been meeting secretly throughout Samantha's entire marriage to David, approximately every 5 to 7 years. The pattern was always the same: they would run into each other at some event or through mutual friends, start meeting secretly, have a brief affair lasting a few months, and then go back to their respective lives. This cycle had been repeating for over 3 decades. Several of Samantha's old friends knew about these encounters but kept quiet to maintain family peace and because they believed Samantha would eventually stop. Mary provided evidence, old photos, letters, and even emails from various years showing Samantha and James together. She had kept everything because she felt guilty about her role in helping them hide their meetings. The evidence showed meetings in 1992, 1998, 2005, 2012, and now 2024. Each time, Samantha would tell David she was going on girls' trips or visiting college friends, while actually meeting James. But the most devastating revelation came when Mary told us about Lisa's paternity. During one of their affairs in 1993, Samantha got pregnant with Lisa. She knew there was a possibility that James was the father, but she never told David. She let him believe Lisa was his daughter and went on raising her as if nothing had happened. This explained so much about Lisa's behavior. We discovered that Samantha had told Lisa the truth about James being her biological father when Lisa was 18. This revelation suddenly made sense of why Lisa had always been so protective of her mother and so willing to help her leave David. She wasn't just helping her mom find happiness, she was helping her biological father too. Bob was devastated by this news and immediately got a DNA test done. The results confirmed that he is definitely David's son, but this knowledge brought him little comfort. The fact that his mother had lied about something so huge for so many years made him question everything about his childhood. When confronted with this information, Samantha's reaction was shocking. Instead of showing remorse or trying to explain, she became defensive. She said she had always loved James more than David, but stayed with David because he was stable, dependable, and good with children. She claimed she did what was best for everyone by keeping the truth hidden. David's reaction to finding out about Lisa's paternity was heartbreaking. This man had spent 31 years loving and raising a daughter who wasn't biologically his, never suspecting anything. He had paid for her education, walked her down the aisle at her wedding, and was a devoted grandfather to her children. Finding out it was all based on a lie has crushed him completely. The revelation has also led David to question everything about his marriage. He's now having his lawyer conduct a forensic audit of all their finances, suspicious that Samantha might have been giving money to James over the years. They've already found some unexplained withdrawals from their joint accounts that coincide with the years Mary mentioned. Lisa's reaction to her paternity becoming public knowledge has been mixed. She's angry at Mary for revealing the secret, but she can't deny anything because she's known the truth for years. She's still supporting Samantha, claiming that biology doesn't matter and that what's important is that David got to be her father for 31 years. Bob hasn't spoken to Lisa since finding out she knew about her paternity and kept it secret. He says he understands why she sided with Samantha now, but he can't forgive her for watching David love her and care for her all these years while knowing he wasn't her real father. The most surreal part is that Samantha seems to feel no guilt about any of this. When Bob asked her how she could lie to everyone for so many years, she said she was just following her heart and that sometimes love requires difficult choices. She's still living with Lisa and openly dating James, acting as if this was all just an inevitable conclusion to her love story. David is now considering legal action against both Samantha and James for the years of deception. His lawyer is looking into whether James's knowledge of Lisa's paternity and their ongoing affair could impact the division of assets in the divorce. Update 3: It's been 6 months since everything came to light, and the situation has finally reached its conclusion, though not in the way anyone expected. The whole truth has come out, and the consequences have been severe for everyone involved, especially Samantha. The forensic audit David's lawyers conducted revealed shocking financial details. Samantha hadn't just been meeting James over the years, she had been financially supporting him too. They found transfers totaling almost $200,000 from David's retirement savings to various accounts linked to James. Samantha had been systematically stealing from her husband for years, taking small amounts that wouldn't be immediately noticeable. The money trail showed regular transfers coinciding with James's business troubles. Apparently, James wasn't as successful as Samantha had made him out to be. His thriving medical practice had been struggling for years, and Samantha had been helping him stay afloat with David's money. She even helped pay for his children's college tuition while hiding it from David. David's lawyer is now handling both the divorce and criminal charges for financial fraud. Samantha could face serious legal consequences for the theft. She tried to claim that David had known about the transfers, but their financial advisor confirmed that David had never authorized any of these transactions. Samantha and James are living together now, but their perfect reunion isn't going as planned. James's divorce was messy once his wife discovered the full extent of his relationship with Samantha. She got 75% of their assets and primary custody of their teenage children, who want nothing to do with their father or Samantha. James's medical practice is struggling even more now that the scandal has become public in their community. Samantha's reputation has been completely destroyed. Most of her friends have distanced themselves from her, especially after learning about her decades of deception. She's been asked to step down from her position on the church board and the local charity committee she chaired. Even her bridge club, which she'd been part of for 20 years, asked her not to return. The biggest change came in Lisa's behavior. When the financial fraud came to light, she finally started to see her mother's actions clearly. Finding out that Samantha had been stealing money meant for her siblings' college funds was apparently the last straw. She's now talking to David again, realizing that the man who raised her showed more love and integrity than her biological father ever did. Lisa tried to apologize to Bob for her role in everything, but he's not ready to forgive her yet. The revelation that she knew about her paternity for years and watched David love her unconditionally while helping Samantha deceive him is something Bob is still struggling to process. He told her he needs time and distance before he can consider having any relationship with her. David is doing much better now. He's focusing on rebuilding his life and has started traveling with his brother. He's also taking steps to protect his assets and has updated his will to ensure Bob and his grandchildren are provided for. Despite everything, he's still trying to maintain a relationship with Lisa's children, showing what a truly good man he is. Bob and I have gone completely no contact with Samantha. We blocked her on everything after she tried to blame me for destroying her reputation by exposing her affair. She even showed up at our house drunk one night, screaming about how I had ruined her life. We had to call the police to remove her, and now we have a restraining order against her. I still don't regret exposing the truth, even though it caused so much pain. The last 6 months have shown me that sometimes doing the right thing hurts, but living with lies hurts more. Samantha's actions have torn this family apart, but at least now everyone knows the truth and can start healing. David said something the other day that really stuck with me: better to be hurt by the truth than comforted by a lie. After everything that's happened, I couldn't agree more.